Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. My name's Dave, and today we're looking at the Neca Alien Series 2 Xenomorph, aka Alien, or as many people like to call the original Alien, Big Chap. Now this creature is featured in the 1979 film Alien, debatably the best of the Alien franchise, and rightfully so. It had a lot of stuff of the horror genre, but also made us think and expand our minds with some great science fiction. Let's not forget one of the most iconic monster designs ever made, and we could thank Mr. H.R. Giger for that. He was the man responsible for the creation and look of the creature, and yes, there was other guys that worked on the suit and whatnot. Giger did a lot of artsy photos that were biomechanical, like a lot of sexual innuendos with women and different stuff like that. But a lot of them look like the alien with the elongated head and whatnot. One was called like the Necronom 4, I believe it is. And it looked just like the alien, except it had eyes in the front or something like that. And Ridley Scott saw that with his crew, and boom, that was it. All they did was replace the eyes with a translucent dome, couple modifications here and there, and boom, there's what we got. And I'm so glad they all worked together to make this. I love this creature, and so many other people do too. Now this figure stands a little over 9 inches. It is some of the tallest figures I have in my collection, and rightfully so. These are to scale with the 6, or actually I believe Neca are 7-inch scale figures. So fantastic, and I'll show a whole line of different stuff I have, like the Predator and one from Prometheus, and of course human from Alien, just so we could see the scale later on in the video. So I do have lots to talk about today. The sculpt is out of this world, pardon the pun, and the paint is quite good as well. So let's get started. And here we have the Xenomorph creature. Now, I'm going to film this close up so we could get a nice shot of all this excellent detail. Because from a distance, it's hard to make it all out, because it is a darker color. It's a pickle to try and let you see all the detail in there. So let's start with the head, and we'll work our way down to the tail and toes. So here we have our jaw, which, look at that teeth, the lips, the little stretchy parts, which I believe are different types of rubber and condoms that are stretched out. But, oh my god, that is great. Bottom jaw with the lips, the inner jaw. We can see some great detail there, the teeth. Look at the top. Excellent. Holy guacamole. We can push that in and shut it. Creepy. And speaking of creepy, there's the skull inside the dome, which is molded pretty damn good. We can see a little paint in there. Fantastic. All these tubes. Amazing piece. There's the other side, the back of the head. And this section here, this dorsal spike, is removable. We have our dorsal tubes. And I love these sections. The circles with the lines. Sick. And just look at the back there. We have our spine going down. More details. Damn, this thing's beautiful. Let me move the arm here. Then we have our arm and rib cage. And I always like these shoulder sections. Amazing. And just look at the ribs. Damn, all that detail. And just looking at this, you can see why a lot of people like the alien. It's not just how it acts and what it does, but how it looks. The detail that it went into it. Look at the arm. It looks like built-in wires and different things. Very biomechanical. And that's the point, really. Perfect organism. The hands. Look at that. The detail. It's beautiful. And here we have the crotch. Now this section is like a rubber diaper. But look at all that. All these tubes and whatnot. Sick. Alien butt. Now here's the tail. And just look at all that. We have our little Well, it's not really an arrowhead, but it does have some sort of little spike at the bottom. Pretty neat. Coming back to the legs. Just look at that. Beautiful. On the sides of the legs. On the backs. So cool. And then here we have our toes, and you can see all the great detail coming down the front. Then the toes themselves with the nails. Great detail going back to the heel. Then the heel we have this spike, and you can see through it. You can see my finger. On the other side, more lines and detail. We have a hinge here because the toes can bend up and down. And no peg holes. And I was kind of mad about that, but what I did was I just got a doll stand. Now these cost about $1.20-something, if that. Might be a little cheaper. And the alien stands well in them. And you know what? They don't fall over. They don't break. Nothing. This doll stand is awesome. I wish it was in black. But this is what I could get in the area. And it works. No complaints here. So that does it for the mold. Beautiful. I love this thing so much. It's scary, but it's so cool to look at. So now let's take a look at the paint. Starting off looking at the paint, we have this nice translucent dome here. Like I mentioned before, however, this section on the bottom is black. The top is a whitish color. But what I really want to get to is what's inside of it. And there we have a bonish tan color, where we can see the skull. And painted on top of that is black sections. And sometimes they look a little like veins, but it is the shape of the skull underneath. And I think it's pretty cool they did that. Little extra detail. You can see right here what I'm talking about. Just pretty damn cool. Now the teeth are painted silver. And the interior, we can see that the inner jaw is a dark tan silver teeth, just like the outer jaw. And if we could get this to extend, there you go. We can see a little black wash on that inner jaw. And that was pretty cool. I never actually got the jaw to pop out just by jerking it. Oh boy. Okay, I wanted to start with a close-up of the head, but the rest of the body, from the bottom section of the head and the jaw all the way down to the feet, is a mixture of different colors. Now at first you think, oh, it's just black. But it's not. You have black, and then you have some sections that are a mixture of what I think is gray, green, and brown. And it's more towards the brownish green color, and that is scattered all over this. Almost like a dry brush, but thick. And it fills in and highlights all these crevices, and you can see on the rib cage, that's what I'm talking about. You can see a little bit right here on the arm, on the crotch right there's a big wad of it. And all that together works very well. It's not just black. It's got a lot of character to it. And I like that. More paint equals more detail. You know, it has a great sculpt that we just looked at. But you know what? The paint helps it out a lot too. And also, what they do is, instead of just leaving it with that black mixture, no, they took a couple steps more and they put a gloss on here that, for all intents and purposes, makes it look slimy and wet, and you could just see the light reflecting off this on different angles and pieces of the biome mechanical design here. Just amazing. So now I'm going to get a couple close-up shots of some of the other paint on here, such as the silver on the hands and the toenails. And here we have a close-up of the hand, and as you can see, here is the silver nails. And I always liked that. I think that was a neat idea. And I guess I can't rotate that hand. Anywho. And now looking at the toes, we can see there are the silver nails. Pretty interesting. And also on this side. Nice, and that pretty much does it for the paint. It doesn't have a lot, but it's very screen accurate, so you know what? it's excellent. It does the job, and it does it well. So now let's take a look at the articulation. Okay, for my head, I can get it to lean back a little bit. Lean forward about that much, but it wants to fall back down. And I can't get it to turn left and right, but it is able to. Mine is just stiff. Now the jaw can open, which is pretty cool. And inside is the inner jaw, so let's get that bad boy out. Now, I always have a problem getting this out because my fingers are big, but you could just take it and extend it like that out. And to put it back in, just push it and shut the mouth. Sweet. Okay, looking at the arm of the alien, my two shoulder joints are very stiff, but I'll move them as much as I can. The arm could go about that high on mine, and can rotate all the way around. The bicep has a rotation cut right there. The elbow can bend like so. Rotate at the forearm. And the hands are not ball joints. Now, I don't want to break it, so I'm going to be easy. The hand can rotate all the way around, go in and out. The alien also has an ab crunch right here, which can go side to side. It's two ball joints connected together. Can also move front and back. And it can rotate. Mine is a little stiff. Now, I can't forget about the tail. This is a rubber material with a metal wire inside, and you could get this in any position you want. So it is pretty awesome. I know some people in the beginning, the wire didn't go through the whole thing, and mine is the same way. Right here, it's all rubber. But just to get it in the normal pose, like we see all the time, it works pretty good. The leg of the alien could go that far forward, that far back, and also that far wide, which is pretty damn good. We also have a little rotation at the hip, double jointed knees, which are awesome, ball jointed feet, which mine are stiff. It can move a little bit, but I can't get it to turn all the way around or go up and down. And speaking of up and down, the feet can actually bend down and up, which is pretty nice. And that basically does it for all the articulation. If it didn't have such stiff joints, you could get this bad boy in some good poses. Now, I have seen some people loosen all the joints. I'm always afraid to do that because I really don't want to break it. So now that I looked at the mold, the paint, and articulation, let's compare this guy with some other figures. To compare it to Xenomorph, I have it next to the Elder Predator, the Deacon from the Prometheus line, and also Ellen Ripley. And you could just see how amazingly tall the alien is compared to Ellen Ripley out of the compression suit. And these are all to scale. And Neca does a good job with that. They have a lot of accessories that are out and are coming out. And it just is amazing to see the alien in its full scale compared to a human being. Just nuts. Great figures all around. And that does it for my review today of the Neca Alien Series 2 Xenomorph. And this one right here, that is from the Alien vs. Predator Kenner 2-pack, the re-release, which came out like 2 months ago. Very cool, same figure. Now, this isn't the only way to get this guy. You have the original release, which it doesn't have the good articulation and it's more brittle. You have this version. You have the 2-pack, which is right there. Then you have the re-release of this figure here, which comes in a nice collector's box. You could find that at Walmart or on the internet. I have seen that at some Walmarts in my area. I didn't pick it up because, I already have 2. But anywho, by far, this is one of the best pieces in my whole collection. And a great improvement over the original figure. The articulation's good, the details are gold, and the paint is perfect. And this figure stands over 9 inches tall, making it stand out in your collection. As we've seen with the Elder Predator and Ripley, these things are taller than the Predators. So they're gonna stand out, especially if you get the Blue Warrior, the Brown Warrior, the Kenner ones, and whatever they come out with for Alien Covenant. I cannot wait for that movie, and I pray Neca does it justice like they usually do. Now, there are some known issues. For me, it's tight joints, and a lot of people have that problem. The joints like to snap. On this one, the feet are tight, the shoulders are a little tiny bit tight. On this guy right here, the leg snapped off as soon as I opened it out of the package. I contacted Neca. Neca sent me another leg, and then the foot popped off. So I had to play like Frankenstein and sit there with boiling water, removing the foot, taking the peg out, replacing this section, putting a new foot on, and it was just madness. But now it looks perfect, and thanks Neca for helping me out with the extra parts, because it helped me rebuilding him, and now he's fine. Oh, almost forgot. These things on the neck here are loose wires. And I always like that. Very biomechanical. And I think I forgot that when going over the detail. But anywho, that is all I have to say about this figure. I could go on for hours about the life cycle and the details and the Nostromo and the crew. But I'm going to cut it off because I'll just keep talking. I hope you enjoyed this review. This was the Neca Alien Series 2 Xenomorph, and I fully recommend it. Especially if you're an Alien fan, get it while you can. So I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, hit that like button or subscribe for new reviews every Thursday. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, and next week, we'll be looking at Prometheus.